Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to show you the full process of making a vintage shirt. That's the full tutorial on how to make a vintage shirt. Alright, so I'll be trying to make it as short as possible, but it will not take more time, you understand, than expected, you understand. So now we are folding the fabric into two. The front part is facing each other, as you can see in the video. And that's like the first process. I'm cutting from this English mouth. You can see some people call it the industrial mouth. You understand? So the placing is important. So you choose the perfect part you want or the side you want to layer it to look like. So that then now I'm folding like about 4 inches inside. 4 inches. I'm going to fold in 4 inches. You understand? This for the overlap at the front. You understand? So this is a beach color shirt, beach color vintage shirt, or some people call it a lapel color vintage shirt. You understand? So now that I've folded the 4 inches, the next thing I'm going to mark is the chest. The chest is 44. Chest of 44 divided by 4. Here I'm just trying to do the mathematics quickly. You understand? Using my tape so you can see the process. But then 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches. Now I'm adding 1 inches for the button allowance. Remember, this is the front. Now we are cutting the front side. That's why it's having this overlap, because the front is going to be open. You understand? So now I'm adding 1 inches for the button allowance. So what I marked right now is 44 divided by 4, which is 11, plus the the button allowance, which is 1 inch of the button allowance, making it 12 inches, and then 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Remember that you're going to stitch it together. You understand? So that's 13 inches in total. Now mark the length. The length is 30. Mark the length 30. You understand? So remember, the chest divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Now 1 inch is for the sewing allowance, and another 1 inch is for the button allowance, because it's the front. You understand now? Yeah, so once we've marked that out, that is 30 inches length and then 13 inches in total for the front. Here I'm just trying to cut it out, and then go over to the back. Hope you understand. I'm just going to make a notch here. Remember that this 4 inches is not part of, approximately is not part of the fabric, because it's going behind. It is going to be inside. So I'm just making a notch so I'll be sure. You understand now? Yeah, so. Alright, so moving on to the back side. You understand? The back originally is going to overlap to the front. Every shirt overlaps. The back will always overlap to the front. So originally the back is going to be longer than the front. You understand? Now I'm trying to be sure that this leftover material is enough for the back, which it is. Remember now that the chest is 44 and plus 1 inches. That's 44 divided by 4. That's 11 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Yeah, so like I said earlier, the back is going to be longer, so I'm adding an additional 5 inches to the 30 inches. Remember that the actual length is going to be 30 inches. You understand? So I'm adding 5 inches to the back. For the front, we added 1 inches only to the back. That's for the folding of the downside. While this back, we are adding 5 inches because the back is going to overlap to the front. You understand? So it originally has to be longer than the front. You understand? For the chest circumference, the back is 44 divided by 4 plus 1 inches only, because it is not going to be open obviously at the back. So the 1 inches is just for the sewing allowance. While for the front, what we did is 44 divided by 4 plus 2 inches. 1 inch is for the sewing allowance, and another 1 inch is for the overlap at the front for the button side. Alright, so for the sleeve, it is going to be a short sleeve. which is what I'm cutting out right here. You understand? So I have a video tutorial on how to cut a sleeve. Alright, so I don't want this video to be longer as it should. So you can just check my YouTube channel to see the perfect way to cut a sleeve. It is applicable to both vintage shirts and senator outfits. So right here I'm trying to cut the back, the half back that is usually in every clothes. Understand? So it's important that you add half backs to clothes. Understand? To give, so at the back part we have a little weight and thicker. Should be thicker than the other parts of the clothes. You understand? So it is usually in length of 9 inches. You can even see the one at the back of the clothes I'm wearing here. You understand? So that's why I just cut now. Yeah, so now we are going to do some ironing before we go over to the machine to do the work. You understand? So stay with me. Alright, so now we're over to this side. Now I'm going to locate the notch that I made. The notch that I made earlier, then I'll fold it back. This is the front, remember. I'll fold it inside, and then I'm going to add a hemming gum at the edge, then iron it. Understand? So, but first of all, to find the edge, I'm just going to iron it to get a line there. You understand? That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just going to iron it to get the line. Then once that is done, then I'll open it and then place my hemming gum at the edge, the line that I created with my iron. You understand? So I'll just place it right there and then turn it over and iron it. Okay, so I'll quickly do the same process on the other side of the fabric also. Like I said earlier, I don't want to take much time than it should. You understand? This is probably the longest video I'm going to be doing or have ever done in this YouTube channel. You understand? I usually break it into parts because it's always tiring to do it, but then I just feel like I should just do it once and for all. You understand? So now that we've done with the both side for the front, now we are over to the machine. Now the first thing we are going to do here right now is to add the half back, the part that I told you earlier that is going to be at the shoulder part of the fabric. You understand? The back side. So that's what we are going to be doing now, first of all. So right here I'm just aligning it and making sure that it's all balanced and equal with the other side. You understand? I don't want it to be longer or bent. You understand? So I'm just going to do that quickly and then we'll continue. Okay, so now we are done with the joining, right? So this is how neat it is looking. Right now we are going to go to the table and then cut the neck. We're going to cut the neck, slant the shoulder, then go back to the machine, join it and do the armhole. Okay, now we are going to fold them into two. The back we are going to fold it into two. The front will be facing each other. The same thing will be applicable to the front also. Remember that this is the back, this is the back side. So I'm placing it like this. I'm folding it into two. And then I'm going to place the front on top of it. And the two parts of the front will be facing each other as well. You understand? It is important that you pay attention to the placing before cutting to avoid making mistakes. You understand? So both the front and the back, the front side, that's the right side, this print you are seeing, the part that is going to be facing outside should be facing each other. You can see how this one is facing now. The opposite side is going to face each other like this. You understand now? So the front is facing each other and then this is the back. You understand now? Yeah, so Once you've placed it like this now, then we'll cut the neck.
Just fold the fabric into
so what we are trying to achieve is
to
join the shoulder, as to join the front and the back shoulder together, you understand? So to achieve that, first of all, we have to identify where the neck is going to be.
Remember, the front,
so we are just going to cut the neck
on top of the back
and then slant the shoulder,
just as you can see.
Understand now? So cutting the neck,
the right
I'm using
side will be
3.5 inches by
Hope you understand.
3 inches. Okay,
Because
so
if
I'm
you miss
using
the
3.5
placing,
inches
then
by 3
you
inches.
get it all wrong.
And this is applicable
This
to only
is
the
what I mean.
front,
The right side will be
understand? So
facing each other, and then they
do
will
not
be
cut the front
top
and the back together
of the
while
back.
cutting this. Remember that the
Hope
front
you
is going to
understand
be
it now. So
to go down more than
make
the
sure
back,
that
you
it's
understand? So the
all
back now I'm
aligned
going to take
together, and then
1.5 inches, you understand?
you can now start cutting.
So judging by
so
what you're seeing
next
now,
thing we are
you
going
should
to do is
understand
to
that the
cut
front is
the
bigger than the back.
neck.
Yeah, so now I'm going to slant
Next
it
thing
by
we're going
3
to do is to
inches.
cut the neck, and here I'm going
Start
by
from this point
4
now to
inches
where I marked. I'm going to
depth,
cut
and
it
then
out. I would have
3
marked it with
inches
chalk so
wide.
that you understand better,
4
but
inches depth by
it
3
is-
inches wide.
I'm actually used to
Simply cut it.
doing it this way.
Only the front.
Understand? So
Take note
now
of
I'm making a
cutting
notch
only
there
the
also.
front. You
Now I'm going to
so
go back to the
front
machine
is-
and join the
obviously
shoulders
The front is going to be
together.
the depth is going
Okay,
to be more
so
than the back. Alright, so the back I'm going in.
If you want to
I'm
know
using the
how
depth of
to
just
join
2
shoulders
inches.
perfectly like this,
You
I
understand?
have a video on my YouTube channel as well, this particular
what I have
channel, on how
the
to
moment.
stitch like a pro. How to stitch like a pro.
Now I'm going to
What I did
slant
there
the
is
shoulder
basically
by 3 inches.
joining shoulders, the
I'm going to
perfect
slant
way
the
to do
shoulder by
it,
3 inches, so
and it
just
will give you
like
a
see me,
neat
I just
stitch,
marked
you
the
understand?
3 inches
Hiding
and
your
then
stitches and it will
cut
look
it down
smooth,
the
you
3
understand?
inches.
I've not seen a
So
better way of joining
now I
shoulders
have a
than the
perfect
one I
shoulder
showed on
slant
that
and
video,
a
you
neck
understand? So
measurement.
it's
So
on
I'm
this
just making
YouTube
a
channel,
notch here
so you
as
can
well
check
to
that out.
know the parts
Now we're
that
done joining the
is
shoulders.
going to the back. Remember,
Now we go
we're
back
going to
to
join
the
the
table.
shoulders together.
At this point, the front and the
We're going
back
to
is
join
now
the
joined
shoulders
together. What's the next thing we are
before
going
we
to
do
do?
the
This
final
next thing we are
part.
going to do is very simple. Cut the armhole. You understand? Remember that we've not even measured the shoulders and the armhole. You understand? So what's left now is just the shoulders and the armhole, and then we can join the sleeve, and then the cloth is completed already. Now while achieving this, to cut the armhole, you can see the first part that I'm folding is the back. I'm making sure that the joining
So we are
is
done with the
meeting
joining
each other.
of the shoulders.
You understand? Hope you can see that.
How smooth it is looking. I have a video on this channel on how to join
Yeah, so
the shoulder.
make sure that it is
and make
equal
it look
and
neat and smooth.
it is
You understand?
aligned
So
together.
check the channel for that
You understand?
Now
Before
we are
you
going
do
to
the
cut
cutting.
the shoulder. This is the
Yeah,
last.
so making sure
cutting
that
we're
all
going to
the
do. So
at this point I'm just
about
trying to be sure,
of sure that
aligning
the
it
process is
perfectly
coming
and be
to
sure
one,
that
understand?
everything is
The simple
equal.
process
Now
is
this
you can
is
see
what
the one
I'm
placing
trying to
it now.
achieve. You can see the overlap,
front
the
side is
back
going in
coming over
like
to the
this.
front now. Hope you can see
Front
that.
side is going
Yeah.
in like this,
Well,
and make sure that the joining
this is exactly what I want to
meeting
do.
each other.
But before I do that,
Understand? Make sure that the
I'm going to
joining is
expand
meeting each
or
other,
smoothing
then
rather, because
you can
some
see
parts
that.
of the neck
Make sure
is
that the
the back
joining is
parts of the
meeting
neck is a
each
little
other.
bit bigger than the front.
And
You can
the
see it
cutting,
clearly.
the
You
fabric
understand?
is
So
equal.
I'm just going to
One side is
smoothen it
bigger or smaller than
before
the other side,
I
understand?
do the
So
cutting.
take your time to make sure that
You
you
understand?
align it properly.
Yeah, so
like you can see me do here.
once I'm done doing
Once
that,
you're done, you're sure that
yeah,
everything
so
is equal and perfect.
now
Then
turning
see
it
what I'm
over
doing.
to
You're
this
going
other
to
side
fold it
now.
over to the front like
That's
this.
after you
Remember
folded
that
it
the back is
into
going
these
to overlap.
two
Okay, so
parts.
you
You
can see the
understand?
overlap there.
You can just follow the
But before we do that, we are going to
physical practical that you're seeing, the exact way I'm doing it here.
further.
You understand?
Understand?
So, this is the first part. Then I'll still align the other parts on top of these other parts like this. Now you can see how clean it is looking now. the overlap is coming in perfectly. So you can see how it's looking now. So before you start cutting your shoulder and the armhole, make sure that it's looking this smooth. You can see how I folded it. Now I'm just trying to iron the shoulders down so as to get a perfect measurement. You understand? So now the shoulder measurement is 20. That's divided by 2 is 10. Now I'm also using the same measurement. I'll be using the same measurement for the armhole because I want it to be free. This is a vintage shirt, you understand? So it's not supposed to be as tight as a senator. You understand now? So it is 10-10. So if the shoulder measurement for the person you are working for is 18, it is going to be 9 by 9 inches. You understand? Same thing applicable to any measurement. Just divide the shoulder by 2. Then you get the shoulder. That's what you are going to place on the shoulder. And then the same thing that you get there is the same thing you are going to be using to cut the armhole. So we are done with the cutting now. We are done with the cutting of the shoulders and the armhole. Next thing we are going to do is to cut out the length. Now you can see that we have 31 here. What we have here is 31 length. So the extra there, I'm just going to cut them off. You understand now? So the extra 1 inch is there. Remember that the actual length measurement is 30, but I added 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So once we are done with the folding, for the folding down, the 1 inch is for the folding down. So once we are done with the folding there, we'll be left with 30 inches. Now this is what it looks like after I've cut out the shoulders and the armhole. You understand now? So at this point it is 80% done. 80% done. Yeah, so now we're going to the machine to put the sleeve. I also have a video here on this channel on how to fix the sleeve. So I wouldn't want to waste a lot of time on this video. Yeah, so I'm making a notch there. And then this is the sleeve as well. I want to apply hemming gum at the edge. Because it usually gives it firm. It makes it look more firm and just add more professionality to the work. You understand? So I'll do that and then get back to the machine to join the shoulders to join the sleeve to the shoulder, and then we are done. You understand? So if you have watched till this point, I want you to like, share, and comment where you're watching from. Alright, so like I said earlier, I'm already tired with the voiceover because this is like the longest video I've made in this channel. I was considering cutting it, but I just feel like doing it once and for all. You understand? So all you need to do is to like, share, and comment. Alright, that will give me the support that I need to do more. You understand? So, and it's not even going to take anything away from you. You understand? So thank you for that, for understanding. Yes, I'm doing the same thing for the other hand part of the clothes. You understand? Alright, so quickly let's get back to the machine to join the sleeves together, and this is more like the finishing part. Alright, so now after applying hemming gun, I also run stitch on top of it. You understand? Because this is not a permanent hemming gun. So if I was using a permanent hemming gun, there will be no need to run stitch on top of it. but this is not a permanent hemming gun, so that's why I'm doing this. Hope you understand. So now we are going to join the sleeve together with the clothes, you understand. So just like I've made the video earlier on this channel, like I said earlier, I have a video on this channel on how to join sleeves, you understand. So make a notch at the center of the fabric and at the center of the shirt, and at the center of the sleeve rather, then stitching from the center down to this point, and then you start from the center as well and go to the other side, you understand. So that way it creates balance, you understand. So this is how I fix my sleeve, and I feel that's how 60% of tailors fix their sleeves as well, because I've seen, especially, or should I say, tailors in my area, because almost everybody that I see that is fixing a sleeve usually do it this way, you understand. So from the center to the end point, then back to the center to the other side. Hope you understand. So I'll be doing this for the both side, obviously, because the both side we have sleeve now, you understand. Yeah, so I'll be doing it for the both side. Yeah. Also, like I used to say, make sure that you don't learn or you don't get used to using your hand or your fingers to cut thread. Okay, make sure you don't get used to it. Don't learn it from me. Yeah, so now I'm just, immediately I fix the sleeve, the next thing is to close the parts. So this one is 8 inches. That's like 16. That's 16. Like the round sleeve is 16. So 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches, which is what I'm stitching down. You understand? So there's going to be a split at the down part. You understand? So I'm not stitching it straight down. Yeah, so I'm leaving an additional. I'm leaving 4 inches. There's going to be a 4 inches space there. Hope you understand, because that part it's going to be a split. So this is what I do there. This is what I'm doing there now. That part is going to be open. Yeah, so very easy and straightforward. Now to the other parts of the clothes. Yeah, so I didn't have to put that part because it is the same process, you understand. So now we're done with the clothes, and the next thing we're going to do is to fix the neck. Yeah, so right now I'm trying to cross check all my measurements. Okay, so the length is 30, the chest is 44. Alright, so now to save your time, okay, I'm going to pin a video that is on this channel on how to fix the collar. You understand? The perfect way to fix the collar. I've done that video before and it's on this channel, so I'm going to pin it on the description of this video. So if you are seeing this video and you get to this point, check the pinned video. Alright, so thanks for watching. Like, share and comment.